Hi Cancer, welcome to your bonus reading for January 2026. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Laura, aka Baby Curl Tarot. I'm a tarot reader, astrologer, and root worker, and I love doing monthly readings for all the zodiac signs here on YouTube, as well as some other fun content over on TikTok and Instagram. This bonus reading is for everybody that showed me love on the January predictions and the 2026 predictions, and specifically for those that showed up and engaged with those videos on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. So this is my way of saying thank you to you guys. You were one of the top 3 zodiac signs that did engage. So you guys are going to be getting a 2-for-1 special. You're going to get a love reading and another general reading. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start with your love reading. Cancers, please keep in mind whatever comes up, comes up. It is a general reading for a collective of you. Not all of you are going to resonate with this message, and that is okay. If it's not resonating, please don't try to force it. It's probably a message for another Cancer out there. Please do not ever try to force a reading you see on the internet to fit your specific lives. Okay, let's get into it. Spiritual team, love oracles, what messages do you have for the Cancer collective regarding their love lives at this time? What messages do you have for the Cancer collective regarding their love lives at this time? Let's see. What do we have? First card at the top of the deck is Greta Garbo. Let me just show you her card real quick. And it says, are you sure you wouldn't rather be alone? Only go to the altar if you take the lead. Marriage isn't the only way to have a partner for life. Interesting. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, we have Albert Einstein. Let me just show you his card real quick. Okay. And it says, objects in a mirror are closer than they appear. The distance between 2 objects is always relative. The simplest things are sometimes the most complex. Very interesting energy so far. It's like, I don't know. Okay, take what resonates. This could be representative of you. This could be representative of somebody that you're dating. Okay, so always keep that in mind. I may also have cross watchers watching these videos, so they may be watching to see how a Cancer feels about them. Okay, so just take what resonates according to who you are and what you feel, the energy I'm about to talk about, whether it resonates for you or the other person. Okay, so I feel like somebody here possibly just isn't necessarily like a fan of marriage, maybe even commitment, maybe even monogamy. Okay, so take what resonates. And it may not even be as extreme as like someone that's into polyamory or polygamy or whatever the case is, but somebody could be just not be interested in traditional marriage or traditional relationships. Maybe they don't want to live with their partner. Maybe they don't, want to legally get married to somebody. Okay. Maybe they just want like a life partner and you guys live in separate houses. I do feel though with this Albert Einstein card that interesting. I feel like you guys either have met this person already or you guys are about to. Maybe you guys are about to take it a step further. Maybe you guys are friends and you guys are about to take the relationship to a romantic level for some of you. But what I'm also feeling is somebody views relationships with a very logical lens here with the Albert Einstein card. It's like not necessarily rooted in romance per se, but it is very much like, I want a relationship on my terms and I don't necessarily want to follow the traditional path in relationships or marriage. It's very unique. It's very different. I don't necessarily get this as like someone who wants to be a player unless they express outright like, hey, I'm polyamorous. I don't necessarily get this as like being like someone that wants to play with your feelings. I feel like this is someone who wants to be very direct about what they want. So take what resonates here. Let's go ahead and just start pulling from the tarot and see what messages come up. All right. Spiritual team, Divine Feminine Tarot, what messages do you have for the Cancer collective regarding their love lives at this time? What messages do you have for the Cancer collective regarding their love lives at this time? Okay, we have the Three of Swords in reverse. Okay, what else do we have? We have the Three of Pentacles. Okay. We have Justice in reverse. I feel like somebody just got divorced. Interesting. Okay. We have the Seven of Cups. We have the Two of Cups. Interesting. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Wands in reverse, Five of Wands in reverse, King of Swords, Ten of Cups in reverse, Hierophant in reverse. Yeah. Okay, so this could be somebody, and take what resonates. Okay. I feel like some of you guys could have either you or this person you're talking to could have recently gone through a divorce or has been divorced or gotten a divorce in the last couple of years. So it feels fresh. It feels pretty recent. It's not like they've been divorced for 10 years, right? I feel like this is somebody who maybe went through a lot of tough times in a very significant relationship of theirs in the past. And I think there's a lot of healing that they've been working through and trying to understand like how they want to move forward in relationships, if they do want to move forward with romantic relationships in the future. I think this person may have realized, you know what, like traditional marriage is just not for me. With this Hierophant in the reverse, this definitely screams marriage to me, because Hierophant talks about tradition and institutions like marriage, religion, and things like that. So having it here in the reverse tells me this person is not a conformist. This person doesn't necessarily like conform to tradition or what society thinks is traditional. Okay. And I think it also stems from having done it in the past, right? So if this person has been in a committed long-term relationship or a marriage of some kind and it didn't work out, they probably realized somewhere in that experience that they don't necessarily want to go through that again, not because they have like resentment or bitterness towards the situation that transpired, but they just realized like, you know what, it's not for me. I don't need to have a legally bound or binding contract between two people, and maybe that's how this person views it. I don't need to be legally tied to somebody to be in a happy relationship, to be in a happy marriage of some kind, right? I can have the commitment, I can have the whatever. I just don't legally want to have to, if you know something was to work out, I don't want to have to go through the whole division of assets situation again. It's just too much. It's not worth it to me. Like the tax breaks aren't worth it to me. Like, yes, I may love somebody deeply, but I don't feel the need to legally be tied to somebody. Does that make sense? That's kind of what I'm getting. It's like, you know, there are so many ways to be in a relationship with somebody. There are so many ways to have a healthy and happy relationship. And I think I see this more and more with obviously the millennial generation. They call us, you know, the hookup generation. And so committed relationships have been few and far between. We're getting married statistically later in life or not at all. And so I feel like there are a lot of people, even my age, that are just, you know, in their 30s or 40s and have never been married. And they're realizing, you know what, maybe I don't really want to get married at all. But I also see this with, you know, older generations where they've been married, you know, either one time or multiple times, and they finally realized, you know what, I don't want to get remarried. I have a family member actually right now that recently just told me that they started dating, it's a different situation. They had a partner that passed on, and they started recently dating again, and they're like, you know what, I don't want to live with this person. I love them to death. We spend time with each other on the weekends, you know what I mean? But live together, it's just, no, we have our own houses, we have our own lives going on. We don't feel the need to, you know, get married and move in with each other, and that works for them. So it's just so interesting, you know, going from what used to be a time where traditional marriage was like, gosh, if you weren't in a traditional marriage, you were basically a social outcast, to nowadays where, you know, there is so many different ways to have a happy, loving, romantic relationship as long as it works for you and your partner, and there's trust and honesty and, you know, care that goes into it. Who's to say that it's wrong or it's not normal or, you know, whatever. Like, So I feel like this is kind of where this person is. So if you're wondering like what this person is about, or if this person is, just putting off, commitment or moving in together because they're seeing other people, I'm not necessarily getting that. I really get that this person just kind of looks at things through a very logical lens, with this King of Swords being here and with the Albert Einstein card being here. It just feels like this person has, kind of figured out what works for them and what doesn't. They don't like to rush into things. They don't necessarily make decisions, off of a whim. They don't make decisions based off of what they're feeling in the moment. And that's not to say that they don't love you or care about you or think that their relationship is fun and exciting and all of that. I just think this person has matured to a point where they're like, you know what? I know what I want. I know what I don't want. And I don't want to ruin a good thing either. Like, I love you. I like you a lot, whatever the case is, but I just don't feel the need to take certain steps in a relationship. I think we can have a decent relationship without it. I feel like I'm repeating myself here, so I'm gonna hop off of that. And just, I honestly, I don't see anything that's an indication of like, this person is out to ruin your life. I don't get that. So if you are wondering, is this person for real or are they just full of shit? I don't see them being full of shit. I just think they're unique. I think they, don't necessarily follow the norms. So if you are okay without having that traditional security or like legal connection to somebody, and you can have a relationship that maybe just isn't super traditional, I think this could be a decent relationship if you guys can work things out and come to an understanding. That's kind of what I'm getting. I like it. It's interesting. I know some of you guys are going to take this information and see it differently, and that's okay. Not every Cancer wants the same things or needs the same things in a relationship. So just take this and apply it to who you are, what you want, what you're looking for in a relationship, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and close out the love reading with an oracle deck and just see if there are any additional messages for you from this person. Spiritual team, Hidden Truth Oracle, what messages do you have for the Cancer collective regarding their romantic relationships at this time? What final messages do you have for the Cancer collective regarding their love lives at this time? Let's see. Okay, we have my life is not as together as it seems. Interesting. Okay, so this could also be someone's way of protecting other people, right? So this person, and again, take what resonates. Maybe this person has a lot of financial debt that they don't want to burden someone else with. And again, this is just an example. I don't know your specific person's situation or your specific situation, but maybe this person has, I don't know, maybe they have kids and so they don't want to move in with somebody until their kids are older. I don't know, take what resonates, but maybe there's something going on behind the scenes or in their personal life that they just don't want you to have to deal with or feel like burdened or eventually maybe become resentful about if you guys move in together or get legally married or whatever the case is. And so this person is more so thinking like, you know what, it's just probably easier for you, and like I don't necessarily want you to have to put up with this if we move forward. Okay, let's take a look. We both know I am not the one for you. Interesting. Okay, so maybe they feel like, and again, different messages for different people. Okay, I feel like everything is very nuanced in this. Your situation may be different from another Cancer's. So again, just take what resonates. Some of you may want traditional marriage. This person does not. I feel like some of you guys might say, I can make this work regardless of the legal marriage or traditional marriage. But I feel like some of you guys, even if you agreed to not have a traditional relationship or living situation or marriage, some of you guys could end up becoming resentful down the line. I feel like for a lot of you guys, that could be a deal breaker. And so I think this person recognizes that. And they're like, I just feel like we could only go so far in this relationship before you decide you want more. and I can't give you more because it's not where I see myself going in this relationship or any relationship. Okay, so take that, how that resonates for each of you as well. Let's take a look at the bottom of the deck. It says, it's time for me to heal now. And I did kind of pick that up with this Three of Swords in reverse. I feel like this person is still potentially healing from a divorce or a relationship that ended recently. And like when I say recently, it could be the last few years, right? So I feel like this person is taking their time and they don't want to jump into something again with a heavy amount of commitment because maybe they're just focusing on themselves and figuring out what they want. Again, I feel like it's different. It's going to be different for all of you. So just take what resonates. Very interesting though. I'm glad that I spoke up on that because I felt that as like, some of them feel like they still need to heal. Some of them feel like this isn't for them and they know that it is for you. Yeah. Okay. So take what resonates, but that is what I'm seeing. 3 different situations, 3 very specific, distinct situations. All right, Cancers, I'm going to go ahead, reshuffle, clear my table, and move on to your general reading. I will see you guys there in a second. Okay, Cancers, let's get into your general reading. Let's see what's going on. Spiritual team, Prism Oracle, what messages do you have for the Cancer Collective at this time? What messages do you have for the Cancer Collective at this time? Okay, so you have space. All right. And at the bottom of the deck, we have determination. Interesting. Okay. Space and determination. Some of you guys may feel... some of you guys may feel distant or like you're isolating a little bit to focus on something specific in your lives, something that may have been challenging you, something that may have been frustrating for you, something that you just feel like you need to overcome. And so you're putting a lot of energy into that. Maybe you're not doing a lot of socializing, all of that. Some of you could also be preemptively making space for something or someone in your lives. So you could be making space for, let's say, a new car. So you are saving money, you are clearing out your old car, getting ready to sell it, kind of a thing. But I feel like it's one of those two. I'm leaning towards the second one. Some of you guys are making space for something and you're determined to make this thing happen and to attract or manifest this thing in your life or work towards having this thing in your life. Let's get into the tarot and see what comes up for you guys. Spiritual team, Divine Feminine Tarot, what messages do you have for the Cancer Collective at this time? What messages do you have for the Cancer Collective at this time? What do we got? Okay, we have the King of Wands in reverse, the Nine of Wands, the Page of Wands, the Five of Wands, and the Tower card. Wow. Okay, what's at the bottom of the deck? We have the Two of Cups in reverse. We have the Magician, Seven of Wands, Ace of Swords in reverse, and Nine of Pentacles. Ooh, very interesting. Okay. Wow, I see like a few different things. But I definitely see the determination here with this Nine of Wands. That is literally like the main word I associate with the Nine of Wands. So there is something you're really striving for to achieve, whatever. A lot of you guys may also feel like with this Five of Wands, this may be like a competition of some kind. Maybe you guys are fighting for jobs or fighting for, I don't know, fighting for something. Whatever it is, I feel like this is something that maybe not everybody gets to have at like one time. So it could be a promotion, it could be, I don't know, maybe this is, what could this be? This could be, let's say you are a content creator, you're trying to go viral. Like it feels like that kind of thing. It feels like something that you are even it could be even something like owning your own business, like getting your own business off the ground, getting recognition for your business. You may have like, it may be a really competitive industry, that kind of thing. And it feels like, I feel like it's a really precarious situation, whatever it is, because having this Tower card here and then having the King of Wands in reverse, it feels like one wrong move could really like put you back at square one. If you're not careful, if you're not on top of things, if you're not like locked in, if you are not locked in, you have a lot to lose, I feel. That's what this feels like. It's like one wrong move and like you got to start all over, kind of a thing. So interesting. It does require a lot of focus. It requires a lot of attention. It requires a lot of effort, creativity, and not only creativity, it requires you to be extremely knowledgeable, extremely smart, adaptable with this Magician card. And I feel like you guys have what it takes to make this happen. But Spirit is saying it's like if you're not on top of it, like it could go sideways real quick, or not even like sideways, like catastrophic, but it could just like, it's like pulling from a Jenga tower, basically. It's like you really got to watch and see like how these pieces are relying on each other to stay up. And if you pull the wrong block, you got to start all over. That's kind of how it feels from this energy. So for some of you, this could be a business. We have the Nine of Pentacles here. I usually associate the Nine of Pentacles with like being independent. So some of you guys may be trying to, be financially independent. Maybe you guys are playing the stock market. Maybe you guys are investing in real estate, or you guys are starting a very specific business that maybe is a high risk situation. You guys could be content creators, like I said. Maybe you are live streamers. Maybe you are, I don't know, but it feels like whatever this is requires a lot of risk. It requires a lot of attention and a lot of care. So I feel like you guys may create a lot of space, and that did come up. I think you guys may be creating space from people, places, or things that maybe just take up a lot of time or distract you. So if you're building a business, maybe you don't spend as much time with your friends because you got to save every penny, A, and B, you're so exhausted and locked into making this business work. That's literally all you do all day long. I don't even know half of you guys pick up a phone to like talk to people, that kind of a thing. Like you're so locked in. Everyone's like, where is Cancer right now? They're at work trying to make this business pop. Okay. It's that kind of thing. Okay. But I also feel like a lot of you guys are making space in your life to make this everything. It's like you're creating this space, you're eliminating things. Okay, so if you are creating your own business, you are saving up every penny, you are preparing to leave your job if this is like a side hustle thing. But I feel like a lot of you guys are just, I don't know, this is taking up a lot of room in your lives, whether that's time, energy, or physically even. Maybe you store a lot of stuff in your house right now because you are trying to sell things on Etsy or Amazon or something like that. I feel like whatever this is, it's taking up a lot of room. It's taking up a lot of space in your lives because it is so attention, it's very needy. Whatever this is, it's very needy. And that's what I'm getting. It's so interesting. Such an interesting energy. I don't have like really an answer that says you're gonna make it or not. I just feel like Spirit wants to recognize that you are pursuing this thing. And I think it's really important just to remember, like, you know, don't think you know everything. Don't think you have everything figured out, because when you feel like you've learned one thing or you've mastered one thing, I feel like something else pops up that maybe you haven't experienced before or dealt with before, especially with the Page of Wands and the King of Wands in reverse. Assuming that you know everything could be really dangerous. Okay, so that's some advice. That's some, okay. Don't assume that you know everything. Okay. What else? Be careful about who you work with, who you partner with this Two of Cups in reverse. Okay. And this could be like hiring employees. This could be hiring managers. This could be collaborating with other creators. This could be collaborating with certain businesses. This could be taking on clients that aren't worth your time, your energy, whatever, like knowing when people are taking advantage of you in your business, kind of a thing. So especially if this is something that's like at the early stages, like you really need to be careful and attentive to what's happening and what you are aligning yourself with. Because again, it's like if you align yourself with the wrong crowd or the wrong type of people or type of industry, whatever, it could really jeopardize your reputation, your business, your income. So I think that's more so of like the warning here of like recognizing that you guys are trying to make something happen. I can definitely see you guys making this happen just from the fact that like you have sheer determination. I think it's possible. You guys have the drive, you have the motivation, you have the ability, you have the skills, you have the talent, you have the business sense. It's just every day is a choice, and you're really gonna have to pay attention to what choices you're making. That's really the biggest thing I'm getting from this reading. Really interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and close out your reading with an oracle deck and just see what final messages come up. Spiritual team, daily crystal inspiration. What messages do you have for the Cancer Collective? What final messages do you have for the Cancer Collective at this time? All right, what do we have? We have red jasper, take action. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, get away from the glare. Okay, so take action. What else do we have? Rhodochrosite, remember your worth. Okay, I like that. At the bottom of the deck, we have Angelite, support is all around you. I really like that. There we go. Yeah, I feel like you guys have what it takes to make this happen. I think as long as you're continuously being proactive, you're staying on top of it, you keep that energy of like, I'm hungry, I want this, and I'm gonna get it by any means necessary, you're gonna be great. Remember your worth, remember who you partner with is extremely important. So try to avoid making any deals or, you know, collaborations that just don't make sense for you, or even, what's it called? Don't match the value that you bring, that kind of thing. And then you have the support with this Angelite card. You have your spiritual team has your back, you have a community that has your back, you have clients that have your back, whatever. So just keep going. Keep going. Like, I think Spirit is saying, you got this. You got this. You can make it happen. It's going to be a grind, you know, but you got this. All right, Cancers, that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Please leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the reading. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me in the future, and maybe share this with another Cancer if you think it would resonate for them. I am also on TikTok and Instagram, like I mentioned earlier in the video. If you want to see more content from me, my handles are below in the description box. That is also where you can reach out to me to schedule a personal one-on-one reading until I get my website completely set up. You can send me a DM either on TikTok or Instagram. And finally, Cancers, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. Hope to see you guys at the next reading. Until then, please take care of yourselves. Bye.